One does not interpret the law, one obeys it. The Platform 2 is a Netflix original from Spain and is a sequel to, wait for it, you're not going to believe this, The Platform. I know. How utterly mind-blowing, huh? Right off the bat, blowing your goddamn mind like I'm Gwen Stefani and Eve. Still would with both of them. They're not in this goddamn movie, but that being said, this is a sequel to a Netflix original that, if you haven't seen, you're going to be a little bit absolutely confused about what's going on here. If you've seen the first one, you know what to expect with this. Or do you? Maybe it'll be different. Woo! Okay, so for those that aren't familiar, the Platform basically is a multi-level prison where there's a lavish kitchen up top, and there's a platform that descends. So as far as titles, pretty goddamn literal. And multi-level in the sense there's 333 levels. Where do they find the time to build this goddamn architecture? Is it underground? Is it up in the sky? Are we up in space? We're only confined to the goddamn prison. Well, we're not, but as the viewer, we are watching people confined to the goddamn prison and this lavish platform of food with certain dishes requested by the particular prisoners. If you eat your particular dish and you make sure to honor the system, then more people below you. If you're at floor 1, you can eat. If you're at floor 20, you'll get a chance to eat. Once you get to floor 50, floor 65, once you get pretty low, once you get below floor 100, it can get a little bit dicey. So imagine what's going to happen when you get to the very bottom of the goddamn floor and people rotate out. Some people get raised all the way up. Some people get sent all the way down. Respect the system. Don't, resort to violence, and just understand that you are basically, you're in lockstep with your goddamn, prison mate. Whether they're out for their own business or not, you must make sure to respect the system. Respect the law. Do not violate ape-eating law. So yeah, that's basically it right there. There's a mixture of body horror, social commentary, and stuff about capitalism and respecting boundaries and making sure everybody gets a chance to eat something. And how people are basically, controlled. Or, there's like these rich people controlling above and everything. And, the prisoners that are, seen as less get less and less. And that's kind of bullshit, to be perfectly honest. If you're in prison, you want to be reformed. You want to do this. There are people that are in there for petty crimes. All the way up to murder and other serious shit. And really, it's just more of what we saw in the first one. Now, I like the first one to an extent. The first one actually had a good balance to it. I liked the idea, and I was interested to find out more about it. Just not so much that I felt a sequel needed to be done. You don't need to make a sequel to everything, and unfortunately, this is just more of the same. There's a little bit of expansion, but not much. We do get some familiar characters, ones that were in the first one, and we do also, I do want to shout the main character, played by Melina Smith, who is gorgeous, good, great, captivating, absolute 10 out of 10. She looks amazing. She was in Tin and Tina. That was a Netflix original. It wasn't very good, but she beautiful eyes, by the way. So nevertheless, the fact is this was written and directed by the same guy that did the first one, also 3 other writers. I'm just going to say right now, if you need 4 people to write this movie, you've got problems, and that's where things get a little bit busy. They captured lightning in the bottle the first time, not so much here. And we find out about Melina's character and a guy that kind of looks like Jeep Svensson and all this crazy stuff going on. They change levels, and there's this idea to fight back against the system. Is there a way to escape? Possibly. That's what was talked about in the first one. But, is it a way to escape, or is it just basically you, dying and everything and feeling like you escape with the last little bits of your breath escaping your body, and then you're totally done. It's all been done, and you're starving before. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like this one didn't have nearly enough character development. Not that the first one had an extraordinary amount, but this just felt like a rehash, and a bland rehash, and it just didn't click. There was a lack of stakes to it. But again, Melina Smith, again, great as far as like magnificently captivating. I do need to check out more of her stuff. And there are other good actors in here too, or at least people to try. But I just feel like the sequel was totally unnecessary. So I'm going to get into spoilers on Netflix if you want to check it out. If you enjoyed the first, maybe you'll enjoy this. But me personally, I just feel like they could have left it alone. They could have just left it well enough alone, because Yeah, it looks nice, but it felt soulless. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So, basically, she's there for a reason. The Jeep Svensson Z guy is there for a reason. There are various character elements, little bits of information to get revealed, but the thing is unlike the first one, you don't really care this time around. And I'm not saying, by the way, that these prisoners are redeemable, but some have to be. Not all of them are, but they've given in the mob mentality. As stuff goes on, there's talks of barbarians, anointed ones. There's one called, Dagon Bobby. Babe. And through trying to respect the ways of those below, food even reaches as low as level 175. Now, it's not much, but it's enough. But if you're basically past floor 50, floor 80 maybe, you are going to starve. I don't know why they needed that many goddamn floors. I think you could have easily done 150 and I think accomplished the same goddamn thing. But whatever, they wanted to make it feel like an impenetrable prison. There's one guy that spouts a bunch of conspiracy theories. Melena's character basically just continues to exist. We see the old guy from before, Trimgasi, I believe is his name. He was the old guy that obviously was a fucking evil son of a bitch, but when they revealed that it actually was a bitch. It was a bit shocking, because oh, okay, we're going to go that route. The thing is as characters get killed, and as characters get sacrificed, and as we get this stuff with these anointed ones, and this other cellmate after the Jeep Svensson guy dies, we get, and he dies maybe because he was just, he couldn't take it anymore. A lot of this is left open to interpretation because, again, maybe some stuff translates a little bit different from Spain or Spanish to American. I watched this in the original English language track, by the way, and just pay attention to the subtitles because that's how you watch foreign movies. But yeah, that Bobby guy ends up he's blind, but he's this anointed one that can see all. His eyes were taken, and Melena and her cellmate are trying to escape, but she's got a missing hand, and then Melena ends up missing her hand, so they're two sides of the same coin. But there are children playing also, I assume in the lowest level or up top or in another location. I'm not sure. But, because again, it's been a while since I saw the first one. I remember liking it, but I didn't commit a ton of stuff to memory. And a lot of this just seemed like imagery that I think even if you would watch the first one, none of it was really going to stick. And the idea is basically violence, violence, violence. The tray of food is, only going to satiate them so far. And that's it. That's basically it right there. We end up getting Melena's character who descends with she and her cellmate with the missing hand talked, and I know she had a name. I'm sorry, I don't care. Nothing against the actress. I don't care about the character names. She came up with a way to escape. There's this way to power the platform and everything. We go down, we pretend to be one of the dead bodies. We get put on this, in this group, and we can rise back up. And we actually see how they prepare and clean up these damn things. It almost looks like they're putting them underwater because they have this, they're steam cleaning, or they're cleaning steamed hams, and they're doing all this stuff. And we see slow-mo stuff, zero gravity stuff almost. And in her haste to try and rescue a kid, she kind of suffers some damage, much like the hero from the first one, or at least the guy they deemed the hero from the first one. And they lower, and then she sees the guy from the first one, and I guess they're together. I guess they were husband and wife, or maybe it's just, maybe they're just totally cracked. To be perfectly honest, this movie kind of wore me down to the point where I didn't really care how the characters were related to each other. The Platform 2 just wasn't good. I'm sorry, it was an unnecessary sequel. It gets an F. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it does get an F because it's very much below average. It's just a bland, basic bitch of a goddamn sequel that was, again, unnecessary. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Recklin. I'll see you soon.